Hiya, Nines. Hope you're well. Today's lesson in our journey to figure out what a computer is concerns secondary storage. Now, we already know that primary storage is where the computer keeps instructions for software that is currently being used. This includes RAM, ROM, cache, and of course the registers. But what happens to files and instructions when they're not in use? Well, that's where secondary storage comes in. It's used to store files and instructions long term, even when the computer is switched off. Today, we're going to answer our mini big question: what are the main types of secondary storage? There are three properly main types of secondary storage that we're going to look at today: magnetic, solid state, and optical. By the end of this lesson, you're going to understand the differences between those storage types and how best to choose the one that you need for a specific task, because each one of them has its own advantages and disadvantages. Previously, we've learned that secondary storage is non-volatile and it has a high capacity. We need it to store things long term because we know that primary storage is volatile. Whenever the power is switched off on our phones or our PCs, any data that's in primary storage gets wiped away. So what are those main types of secondary storage? To go back just a quick step, a storage device is just something that is used to permanently record or store data. We're going to start today with magnetic storage devices. Now, the most common type of magnetic storage device is a magnetic hard disk. It looks like this. Normally it has a case over it and it's normally inside of PCs. They've been around for a long time and it's great for storing large amounts of data at a low cost. However, it has moving parts, which means it has slower read and write speeds and it's more prone to damage. So like I said, the advantages of using this are that it's actually got a massive capacity, and compared to its capacity, it's actually quite cheap. So its cost per gigabyte or per terabyte nowadays is relatively small. However, they have those moving parts inside, which means that if they are dropped, the likelihood of them breaking and all your data being lost is quite high. Solid state storage like solid state drives and USB flash drives are much faster at reading and writing data, mainly because it has no moving parts, hence the term solid state. It's also more durable, but typically it's more expensive and doesn't always have as much capacity as magnetic storage. Optical storage, like CDs, DVDs, and Blu-rays, are less common these days, let's be honest. We don't really ever use them unless we're watching a Blu-ray movie or inserting a disc into our PlayStations or Xboxes. But they can still be useful for archiving and distributing data. The downside is, though, that number one, they're a much lower capacity. Even the newer technology Blu-rays can still only store around about 24 gigabytes of data. So they're not that great. They've got really slow read and write speeds. And of course, if you were to ever scratch one, then it's not really going to work anymore. An alternative to all of these things is cloud storage, which allows data to be stored remotely on servers somewhere on the internet. It offers the advantage of being able to be accessed from anywhere with an internet connection, so you could be anywhere in the world and still have access to your files. because there's no need for any physical storage device on you. So you're not got to carry around a USB stick or a memory card or a hard disk drive. However, it does require a reliable internet connection, and there can be concerns over data security and ongoing subscription costs for additional storage space. Because as we know, if we run out of storage somewhere, it costs us quite a lot to buy more storage.